up Jewish in a little coal mining town in western Pennsylvania, I soon learned that the only thing that mattered was whether you were Irish, Italian, Polish, or Slovak. The store sold pierogies, but not pastrami or bagels. For the most part, we got along. Every now and then, you'd see a swastika scrawled on the sidewalk, or someone would use the word Jew as a curse. But with only a handful of Jewish families in town, you didn't want to rock the boat. And besides, I loved being Jewish. I still remember the thrill when Mrs. Gluck, our third grade Sunday school teacher, told us that our textbook was called When the Jewish People Was Young, with a singular verb, because the Jews are one people. I saved quarters to buy trees to, quote, redeem the land of Israel, and I fell madly in love with the Sabra hero Ari Ben Canaan after reading the book Exodus. When Dad told me that Paul Newman, the heartthrob actor who played Ari in the movie, was half Jewish, it just confirmed my belief that Jews were the best and smartest people in the world. Look at Albert Einstein. And the fact that we'd been persecuted for millennia only made us better. Years later, I met Stan in San Diego, where we both worked for the newspaper. He was Japanese American, had grown up in Southern California, and thought being Jewish was some kind of weird East Coast thing. In fact, he'd had a lot of Jewish friends, he just hadn't known it. Like Adrienne, whose father was constantly worrying about her tire pressure, and Janice, whose parents couldn't program their VCR. The last name is often a tip-off, I confided. What's so Jewish about Gordon, he inquired. I sighed with exasperation. It's just so obvious the name has been changed. In 1988, the newspaper sent me to Israel for the 40th anniversary of the modern Jewish state. It was the beginning of the Intifada. In East Jerusalem, I saw Jewish soldiers with machine guns beating up Palestinians. In the West Bank, I saw American Jews with machine guns claiming the land as their own. At long last, I understood what it had meant to buy trees to, quote, redeem the land of Israel. When I got home, I wrote a couple impassioned columns for the paper that said, this isn't who we are, this isn't what we do. The next day, an FBI agent called me up to invite me to breakfast. I was puzzled since I didn't cover crime, but I went anyway. Halfway through the meal, when he started asking me about Israel, I realized he was investigating me. The next year, Stan and I got engaged and moved to New York. At the ripe old age of 35, I was finally living in a city with a serious amount of Jews. For him, the adjustment wasn't easy. He'd grown up driving on freeways, shopping in malls, and being around people who were nice. He thought New Yorkers were rude and overbearing, and I didn't disagree. But I couldn't get over the fact that the Waldbaum's where we shopped was decked out in blue and white crepe paper for Passover. The shelves were stacked high with matzah and macaroons, and I could buy shove there, the sorrel soup my Aunt Bessie used to make. I was amazed that on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, traffic-clogged Lexington Avenue was almost empty. One day, I schlepped over to the west side to pick up some lox at Zabar's, and I noticed a group of people holding signs outside the store. When I looked closer, I realized they belonged to Women in Black, the anti-war movement started in Israel to protest the occupation. My heart soared with pride, and for the first time in my life, I felt truly at home.